Hello, thank you for watching my video. Today I'm going to show you how to backup and restore Cisco IOS or Cisco operating system by me, Astrid Krasniqi. Okay, I've got here a router that is fully working and no problem there whatsoever, and it's got the iOS. I just rebooted this router. It's got iOS there, operating system. What do we want to do is back up this iOS to start with. So to do that, we're gonna need a TFTP server. Now TFTP server is not like a Microsoft server that you have to go there and install it in a separate machine or anything like that. It's just an application that you need to go and download and install it on your client machine. So to do that, we open Google, and in the Google there's a good application. A lot of manufacturers, they do different TFTP servers, but the one I like is called the WinAgent TFTP. So I need to download that. So go to WinAgent's TFTP server here, and then here, this WinAgent TFTP server, you can download it and use it as you wish for 30 days, and then after 30 days you have to purchase it. So now for this exercise, I'm just going to download it. So it's starting to download now. Shouldn't take that long, it's very small application. Okay, it's done. So if I click on it, start installation. Okay, it says welcome. Then you just go through the wizard. Next, agree, accept the license terms, read them if you want. Click next, then complete. Next, next. Okay, the installation of our TFTP server is already completed. Okay, to start it, just click OK. It says TFTP server is not running. Do you want to start the TFTP server? Yeah, I do want to start that. And that's our TFTP server. It's already downloaded, it's running, and it's waiting for anything to send through TFTP. Okay, excellent. Now that we have the TFTP server, what do we have to do is connect our router with the TFTP server or with our client machine. So how we do that is, follow up on Paint. I'll show you. I'll grab a router. I'll put it here on the Paint. Okay, that's my router. It's 1841 router, and I'll grab my PC as well. So this router and this PC, I will connect them, directly connect them, and you should know what cable, but it's a crossover cable, so you need to have a crossover cable here. So I'm just gonna use this and make it look like a crossover cable. There we go. Okay, so this PC, the IP address of the PC that I'm using is 192.168.1.215, and the router, I need to start configuring it. Okay, just to let you know that when you disconnect the cable and connect the crossover cable directly with the router, you will get like this, the icon here. That means that it's not connected. Anyway. Okay, just so you know that you can't go to the internet. You are directly connecting with the router. Okay, so I have to go to the router and start configuring it for that interface. So config T, interface is connected to FA00. So interface FA00, IP address 192.168.1.214. This one, 255/24, and no shut down. Okay, so I got my IP address, interface configured, and it's up, it's running. So what I'm gonna do now is test can ping the PC. So what I'm doing is I'm sending a ping packet from the router to the PC to make sure that it's connected. So I just went here on the interface FA00, and I configured the IP address 192.168.1.214. Okay, so I'm going to test that. So ping 192.168.1.215. Okay, let's see. Yeah, 4 packets came back. One of them, it has timed out because it's a ARP request. If I try again, it's going to be success 100%. Excellent. Now that I can ping the PC, I should be able to send something to my TFTP server. This is my TFTP server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just test it. So copy to send the command to the TFTP server is copy, say running config to TFTP. That's all you have to do. I have my TFTP server running here in the background. Wait. Okay. So address or name of remote host. The address is what is asking for is address. This is the TFTP is running here, yeah. TFTP here. So it's asking for this address. So address is 192.168.1.215. Okay, what's the destination file name? Router config. Hit enter. Okay, it's already copied 2 packets to my TFTP server. So if I look in TFTP server, you have here router config. Now, sometimes it might be the firewall is blocking. If it doesn't work, is the firewall blocking? But all you have to do is create like allow the TFTP to go in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open the firewall, even though this worked, but I'm going to show you if it doesn't work for you, what to do, how to fix that problem. Okay, so I opened the Windows firewall with advanced security. To open this, all you have to do is run command. Well, just start and then type Windows firewall .msc, and it will run that command. Okay, let me just delete this. Now that we have the firewall running, I can create the inbound rule, one new rule. So to allow the TFTP. So new rule. What I want is a port. Next, you have to know the TFTP is using using UDP, and port number is 69. Click next and allow the connection. Next, for all of them, click next, and then the name TFTP server. This is just whatever you want to call it. Okay, this is going to appear there. So the inbound rule, they will work now. Okay, for us it worked because I did it first time when I practiced it, so that's why it worked. So now I copy the running config. This is on my TFTP server. I don't want this, so I'm just going to delete this. So right click and say delete. Now if I open my what I want to do is I want to copy my iOS or the operating system. So what I need to do is say copy flash to TFTP. Okay, this is the iOS that we're going to copy. So copy flash TFTP. What we're doing is we are copying from the flash from the router to our TFTP server. So enter, and then it says source file name. What do you want to copy? What we want to copy is the iOS. So I'm going to highlight this name and right click, and it's just going to paste it there. Okay, enter. Address or name of remote host. Again, the address is 192.168.1.215. Press enter. And destination file name. What do we want to call it? So, same. We'll keep it the same name. Okay, so now it's copying the iOS to the TFTP server. So if I go back to the TFTP server, I can see the iOS is being copied there. Now I can use this iOS again if there's a problem with this router, if it goes down or something. So if he like corrupts this iOS, this operating system. It's very quick copy, but I'm gonna pause the video and come back when it's finished. Okay, it's completed. It took just over 63 seconds to do. So if I go to my TFTP server, that's WinAgent TFTP Server Manager, I can see the iOS is there. It's 22 megabytes. Excellent. So we have a backup of our router, or of our iOS of the router. Same time we can back up other stuff, like we can back up running config. So copy running config or startup config to TFTP and so on. But there's no startup, so I need to save it. So copy running config to startup config. Yeah, once it's saved, then I can copy my startup config to the IOS. So copy startup config to TFTP server. Address 192.168.1.215, and destination file name, I can keep it the same, or I can say router 1841 startup. That's it. So if I go to my TFTP server, I can see the router 1841 startup is already there. Excellent. Okay, so now what we want to do is well, delete the IOS, which is not advisable, but lots of students do that. So what do we need to do is erase or delete slash. That's it. Okay, so it didn't work. Clever IOS, clever router is not letting us. So show flash, delete, let me type it, delete slash, and then the file name. Are you sure you want to delete this? They confirm. Yeah, we want to delete. So if we say show flash now, we got nothing. Show flash, we have nothing. Okay, so it's easy for us to bring the iOS back if the router is running, but if we do reload, continue the reload, then we're gonna go to ROM on mode. It's not gonna be able to load correctly. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna not pause the video. I'm gonna wait here until it's finished reloading. Okay, now we see that we are in ROM on. So we don't have the iOS. The best thing to do is to well, we have an iOS in TFTP server, so the best thing to do is bring this iOS back to our router. So first thing to do is to actually make this router ready, or give an IP address for the interface. So you have to make sure that it's on the first interface of FA00. If it's FA01, it will not work, so it has to be on the first interface here. So on the router, I type IP, capital letters there, so IP underscore address equals with 192.168.1.214. Okay, and then IP subnet, then mask equals with 255.255.255.0. Okay, and then I type default gateway. Have to be very careful with spelling here. 192.168.1.214, it's me. And then I'll put the TFTP server underscore server equals with 192.168.1.215. Yeah, okay. And then TFTP file equals. So if I go to my TFTP server and I get my file, I'll open the TFTP server, right click there, rename, just so I can copy the file name, copy, and then go to my putty, so right click, paste it, excellent, and that's it, we're done. So all this configuration has to be done. So first of all, type the IP address, that's gonna go to the first FA00, then the IP subnet mask, then the default gateway, TFTP server, the IP address, and then the file name that we're going to copy. And then the command is TFTP DNLD for TFTP download. You sure these are the things that you want to download from? The IP address, subnet mask, yep, everything seems fine. So click here, Y, and the download will wait. We'll see. Okay, excellent. The download is starting. So what we do now is we are downloading the IOS from the TFTP server to the router. So we have here the TFTP server, we have iOS, we are downloading it to the router now, and then we reload the router. We should see that we have the iOS. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video and come back when it's finished. Okay, it's finished downloading from TFTP server. That took about 5 minutes. So it's downloaded from the TFTP server. Now we're back here. So if I put the reset and the run on mode, we can't put reload to restart the router. We have to type reset, and we are rebooting the router. Let's see if we boot to regular iOS or to the run on mode. Okay, I'm not going to pause the video. We'll just wait and see. Okay, so as you can see that we have a self decompressing the image, which means there is an image there. It has found one image. Oh, there is iOS. Okay, excellent. So let's just wait a few more seconds and we'll wrap it up. Okay, excellent. So we are in the router mode. Enable, show flash. Hey, we have our iOS in the flash. Excellent. So what we did is here first of all, none of this was done, was ready. So we didn't have that. Okay, this PC had a connection with the internet. So there was a connection here, static IP address towards the internet. What we did is on this PC we downloaded off TFTP server. So we downloaded a TFTP server and installed. The TFTP server that we did download was WinAgent TFTP. The WinAgent TFTP gives you 30 days free usage. Right, so what we did is I unplugged that cable, this cable, went there and unplugged it, got rid of it. Here, got rid of it, all of it, and plugged a crossover cable and connected my router. Oh, let me grab correctly here. Yep. Connected my router in it. Now, in the router, I went and gave an IP address on the first interface, FA00-192.168.1214. On the router, I ran the command show flash, and then it gave me flash whatever the iOS was. So this one, let me just grab it here. Okay, this is the iOS they gave me. Then I ran copy running config to TFTP. Then he asked for what is the IP address. That's the IP address of our TFTP server. So 192.168.1.215, and then the name was whatever the name we said, 1841 router, so on and so on. After we did that, that address appeared in our TFTP server, that running configuration. Then we said we went to the router and we said copy. So we said copy flash to TFTP. So copy flash to TFTP. Then he asked what you want to copy. We said this iOS. So we went there. That iOS appeared in our TFTP server. What we did afterwards, we deleted the IOS from the flash, so there was no IOS on the flash on this router, and we gave a proper IP address to the interface, and we copied the IOS back from the TFTP server to the router. Okay, so on this lesson we learned how to backup and restore Cisco IOS or operating system by me, Astrid Krasniqi. So we need to connect the TFTP server to the first Ethernet port on the router using a crossover cable. Let's assume that TFTP server IP address is 192.168.20.254/24 on this time. Boot the router and set the Roman variables. So Roman variables will be IP address, then subnet mask, then the default gateway, the TFTP server IP address, and TFTP file that you want to download. Then enter the TFTP download command at the Roman prompt like that, TFTP DNLD, and it says, do you wish to continue, yes or no? You have to make sure that you say yes. Cisco IOS file naming conventions. For example, we have this router, C1841 IP base -mz.123-14.t7.bin. What do they mean? Why are so many letters and numbers? Okay, well, the first part that identifies the platform on which the image runs. So C1841 is a platform of the router C1841. Cisco 1841. In this example is Cisco 1841. And then IP base. IP base specifies the feature set. What can the router do? What's the capabilities of the router? For example, if this one is basic IP networking image. We can have I designates for IP feature set, J designates the enterprise feature set, S is designated a plus feature set, extra queuing, manipulation, translations. 56i designates 56 bits IPsec DES encryption, and 3 designates the firewall IDS. K2 designates the 3-des IPsec encryption. Then we have MZ. MZ indicates where the image runs and if the file is compressed. For example, indicates this time the MZ indicates that runs from RAM, random access memory, and it is compressed. This 123-14T7 is the version number. So go back there, 12.3. This is 12.3-14. And then bin is the binary, is a file extension. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for watching my video. This has been Astrid Krasniqi helping you how to backup and restore Cisco IOS. Bye, and I'll see you in the next videos.